What's good, everybody? Good morning. Hey, look, man, I'm just gonna let y'all know something before I get my day started. Oh, brother, it's simple as this, man. Look, I hear a lot of people, on a daily basis. Man, I talk to people all the time. I don't just post it. I don't just spread it. I don't do all that. But I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people always ask me, if people really know me, the people who really know me, they feel like I'm a unicorn. You know what I'm saying? They feel like I'm someone that they rarely see, like face to face. You know what I'm saying? Like people who follow me on social media, yeah, I post. I post a lot because I'm big into encouraging people. Like I like to see people get up. I like to see people get started. I like to see people get the ball rolling. I like to see folks, not being down on themselves. I try to do my 2 cents, my part in helping people understanding that, man, your life haven't even really started yet. You know what I'm saying? Not saying everybody gonna grow and be rich and famous and be super wealthy. Not saying that, but your life in pursuit of your purpose hasn't started yet. In most cases, because a lot of people don't understand that part of life. Now, with that being said, what I experience with dealing with a lot of folks is they spend too much hours in the fandom department of life. They spend too much hours being a fan, especially if they're a person that's unemployed. You know, uh, I tell people who are employed, people who do have jobs, people who work like myself, even if you work from home, 24 hours in a day, right? You can split your days. You can split your days down to 8 hours of work, maybe give or take a little bit more. 8 hours of sleep. You should want to try to get and achieve 8 hours of sleep today, a day if you can. Now you have another 8 hours, right? If you actually stop and working from 8 hours, whether you're at home, whether you're not at home, you work an 8 hour shift and you come home. Now, from your 8 hours to working, give or take a little more, it can be 8 to 10, it can be 8 to 12, depending on how much you work. And from your 8 hours, or 6 to 8 hours that you devote to sleeping a day, to get your rest because you need your rest. You know, there's a gap. There's anywhere between a 8 to 12 hour gap of not necessarily quote unquote free time. You got time to run errands, depending on how long that takes. Time to go to the grocery store, time to clean up your house, depending on that. But none of that takes 8 to 12 hours. Going to the grocery store, paying bills don't take 8 to 12 hours. Cleaning up your house don't take 8 to 12 hours. So you have a gap, give and take, how much you work and how much you're sleeping, anywhere between 8 to 12, maybe even 14 hours, depending on the person. Most people in that 8 to 14 hour gap, depending on what they working and how much they sleeping, they spend way more. They spend too much of that time being a fan. They spend too much of that time being a fan and not working to become that independent person, to become that entrepreneur. They spend that hour watching 2 or 3 or 4 2 hour podcasts. Nothing wrong with supporting people, but you have to regulate that time of being a fan. You have to regulate that entertainment time. Or they'll watch 3 to 4 hours of TV shows. Nothing wrong with being a fan, but you have to regulate that. You see what I'm saying? When you're not actually on the clock working, doing your job, it's your job, because there's a difference between your job and your work. There's a difference between your job and your work. A job they can fire you from. A work they can never take from you. You understand what I'm saying? Quite simple as this. Yes, I work for a company. Yeah, they taught me a skill at that company. Yes, they can fire me from that job, but that skill that they taught me, nobody can never take that from me. I can use that to make money for the rest of my life. I'm a barber. I taught myself how to cut years ago. I can go to any barbershop in the world and work. But guess what? I can get fired from those shops. But my skill of cutting hair, that's my work. No one can never take that from me. I can always use that to make money. You get what I'm saying? So it's a difference between your job and your work. Work is something that people can never take from you. Only the Almighty God can take your work from you. Now let's get that understood. Now, in between that 8 to 14 hour gap, depending on how much time you got, too many people are spending too much time at being a fan. Watching 2-3 hour podcasts, 3 or 4 of them a day. Nothing wrong with being a fan. But if you saying, and if you know you got the vision that you were supposed to be something, you got to spend less time in the fan department. Even myself, I tell people like this: if you a fan of mine's, when I become more prosperous and be more, influential at something and become a household name, if you're spending way too much time being a fan of mine and not putting in time to develop your craft, to develop your work, you're working backwards. You hear me? We as people have to get out of the realm of being a fan. You're watching people. Regulate your fan time. Regulate your entertainment. Why? Because what's the point of spending most of your day watching millionaires and billionaires make more money instead of you putting in the time to do what? Develop yourself so you can become a millionaire or billionaire. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, over 90% of the world ain't trying to work like that. 90% of the world ain't trying to create every day. And then on top of that, 90% of the world ain't trying to create anything with substance to become that next millionaire or to become that next billionaire. A lot of people are playing on chance. A lot of people are playing on luck. A lot of people are just throwing something in the air hoping that it catch. But a lot of people are not grinding 10 years, 5 years, 8 years, putting in work to try to become that next solidified household name with a solid foundation up under what they doing. A lot of people are not doing that. And if you say that this is what you want to do, if you want to be in that realm of the top 1% of people that's making this type of money, who are making these influential moves, you gotta not spend so much time in being a fan of people. And then half of you people spend so much time at being a fan that y'all not even really learning nothing from what you devoting so much time to. Y'all really looking at this stuff as just for an entertainment aspect. Y'all not even learning nothing from that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all spend 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day on apps, right? And it's just really to be on apps just to hear yourself talk, just to hear yourself type, just to hear yourself post, or just to see yourself post. Y'all ain't even learning nothing about how to make the world go around. Y'all ain't even learning. It's purely just entertainment to a lot of these people. You get what I'm saying? Most of your lives are consumed in being a fan. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of a person. I'm a fan of people, but guess what? I give myself max in a 24-hour day, an hour, maybe an hour and a half to be a fan of something. Other than that, that's it. And sometimes it don't even make it to the hour and a half mark, because I'm too busy doing something somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying that you can't multitask. I'm not saying that. So let me put that on the table, because people, I can multitask or whatever. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. If you can multitask, cool. A lot of people can't. A lot of people are straight, singular, straight. I'm on one thing and that's it. But you gotta, put more time into developing your work, to developing your skill, to developing your craft, to developing what you want to do or what you feel like you was called to do for this world, and take a little bit more hours away from that fan side, that entertainment side. Entertainment gonna be there. And when I say that, it brings this to mind. Like when I look at a lot of people that are already, quote unquote, made it financially, living in financial abundance, they made their money, whether they're a millionaire, billionaire, strong 100,000 now, it don't matter. They got a reoccurring theme. And the reoccurring theme is when people ask, well, who influenced you, right? The influences a lot of the time come from when they were broke. You know, they was influenced by somebody to want to get to this step or to this pinnacle or this point in their life. But now when they get to that point, and then people, like, well, who you listen to and who you watch and who you do this and who you do that. A lot of them tend to say, man, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, if I'm on a plane ride or if I'm on a car ride, I may get introduced to something new, for maybe the hour or something that I'm riding. But pretty much my day is developing who I am. My day is devoted to me getting better. My day is to put my ideas out on the table and making sure they come into fruition. Most of their day is dominated by getting everything in their mind out and get it in motion. You see what I'm saying? They're not sitting around too long being fans of the next, person who got it or who got a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? They may be a little covetous at times, yeah, but they're not sitting around thinking, man, I was watching this person, for 4 or 5 hours a day, and no, it's not like that. You see what I'm saying? They regulated that time of being a fan. You get what I'm saying? And they regulated and they put more time into working. I look at it like this. While you sitting there watching someone who's already in motion doing it and getting excited, there's like a million thoughts and ideas running through your head that you could be putting in motion at the same time. So why are you choosing to, just look at this entertainment and pure entertainment at that for 4, 5, 6 hours a day? That's, let's be honest, a lot of the times it's meaningless, instead of getting your ideas rolling. And I know a lot of you are scared. Why? A lot of you are scared because y'all have been a slave to the thought process, a slave to a life to where you always start something and then you always stop. You never see it through. You start and you never see it through. You start and you never see it through. You start and then the people you wanted to start it with, y'all fell out some type of way. So you never see ideas through. You never see them through. That's another topic for another day. I just want people to understand, man, put more time into developing yourself. Put more time into sharpening your tools, sharpening your skills. Put more time into trying to display yourself, even if it's not perfect. There's never a perfect work. I don't care how much you can Photoshop something, you can put any type of filters on it. There's never such thing as a perfect work. So just put more time into being in training. Put more time into sharpening your tools. Put more time into sharpening your craft and less time into being a fan. As simple as that.